Hi everyone, welcome to Modern Hmong Girl. It's a girl, Emmy.
And it's your girl, Lex.
If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. And if you're a returning listener, thank you so much for tuning back in. Let's get started.
Yeah, so welcome to episode 35. It is about the unspoken competition between Hmong women. And this one is a pretty heavy one to unpack.
It is because I feel like it just happens so often in the Hmong culture without us really like realizing it. You know, we do and say things without realizing that, oh, like we think we're better than them, you know, but it's like, it's just normal. You know what I mean? It's so normalized that we don't realize it's something that's not good for the culture or for ourselves or for women in general.
Right. But before we dive too deep in, if you are watching the pod episode, as you guys can see, we are not at our usual filming spots. We are actually in progress. Thank you so much, In Progress, for having us. They are also a partner of ours too. So shout out to you guys. And do prepare to see us more at the space too.
And before we do start, I am a little sick. So if you hear any sniffles, I am sorry in advance. Yeah, so today's goal of this topic is to really just unpack why competition exists between our Hmong women and its cultural roots and how to replace it with solidarity. So to get started, we're just really acknowledging that it is a sensitive topic. And if you say some things that, you know, may hit some spots, it's just, you know, things that we notice, right? We see, we're not saying it to come at anyone or anything, you know, we're just saying things that we see around the culture that happens within like our Hmong culture with women.
Right. Yep. And this is a learning curve for everyone too.
Yes, it is.
And I think that with Emmy and I creating these episodes, it's a huge learning curve for us too, because we're like, wow, these are things that have been happening. We've been conditioned to it so much, and we're finally here to have a conversation about it and
Yes.
be real about it because it's not okay, you know?
Yep.
Okay, so the first one for our cultural roots of competition are limited roles for women in the traditional society and culture that we have. And I think that with these limited roles, that's what causes us to have that competition because we don't have many roles, and we have been conditioned in just seeing us Hmong women as the
Good Hmong wife.
yes, the housewife. Yeah. Just the housewife all the time. That's our ultimate role. And so I think with, you know, such limited roles and opportunities in our culture, that's all what little girls see grown Hmong women become.
Yeah, and then just kind of like relating to that, like the pressure to marry well and marry to like a good, wealthy family, and seeing who's like most skilled in the chores or like sewing or cooking. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, I think that's just it's very prominent right now and back then too. Like back then, if I was to marry itu I don't know what do they call them Hmong, but the person that is in charge of the village, like, oh wow, you know, she's so
Oh,
praised, like for marrying
yes.
to a rich family and someone that, yeah, like that. And if you're like a rich girl, but you marry like itu like a poor person, you get looked down upon. You're like, oh, why you just married somebody like that? Where like, you know, so it gives the pressure like, okay, I need to like work hard, like cook well and sew well and do stuff so well so that like when the guys come and like talk to me, they see like, oh, this girl is like very like, oh, she's so good at what she does and all that stuff. And then yeah, so I just feel like there's so much pressure. This is like back to like, you know, like the old days, right? There's just so much
Right.
pressure on like having to be such a good Hmong daughter so that they see that, oh, you could be a good nya. So if you're a good nya, then they will marry you, you know. So I feel like that brings a lot of competition in between for just girls, because back then you're still girls, you know. And then when you're married into a family, you're a woman. And yeah, I still think it brings a lot of competition between older women as well, because now you're like, oh, you're nepata, oh, you're no, like, you know, you have so many titles, and it's just like, you just, yeah.
Yeah, I also don't like it how like married women are addressed as Nietzsche, like Nietzsche and their husband's name. And it's just like, I'm sorry, I be cringing at that title. Like, no offense. I understand why we use it. I understand why it's there. It is a cultural thing, a cultural value. And so I do understand it. But like, I mean, I just never see myself being called a Nietzsche and then my future partner's name. It's just, I don't know, that's just not me. And so, and I feel like a lot of us young girls can also agree to that too. And I think like it's not wrong with carrying your husband's or your wife's name at all, but I think like having your own name is also very important
Because you're still your
too.
own person.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's even like taking their last name. I don't really mind about all of that stuff, but I'm just talking about like when you're addressed as who you are, it could just be your name. It doesn't always have to be so excessive that it always contains your husband's name all the time where that is now your identity. And like you don't even like you start to even forget your name. Like when someone calls your name, you're like, that's not even my name. My name is Nia Che, da da da. Like, it gets to that extent where it's like that is now your identity and your name, your legal name almost. But I also wanted to add on with what you said, I mean, about back in the villages, how like you had to like be the best in order to get the best husband. And I just remember as a kid when I used to watch a lot of the Hmong movies, and basically the guys, they would go and look at the girls like, oh, shashi tu tu ya tung kwa cha, shong kao cha, and stuff like that. Literally, Hmong girls were like they were like zoo animals. Where like the guys, they just came and they were like looking and observing to see who was the best and like, do I want that one? And then like that's when they'll like be like, okay, I want that one, and they'll bride nap and whatnot. But yeah, I just think that it doesn't happen anymore here in America, but it still trickles down to what happens here in America in our culture and in generation today. Yeah.
But like if you see, it's not just about the skills that will build a family, right? It's about the love too. Like
Yes.
that's what I feel like they don't understand. Like if you marry a person that's so good at cooking, so good at sewing, all this stuff, but would they love you? Would they love your family? Yeah. So I think I think times have changed, but it has changed for the better, and I hope we keep growing from that.
Right. And so the next one, it also ties with what we mentioned, but the beauty standards with community gossip. Oh my gosh. Like that is just, I don't even know what to say about that because we can never beat the beauty standard. It's
Yeah.
always changing.
Yeah.
And people will always talk no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's too skinny. She can't bear children.
Yeah.
She's too big. She's not beautiful. Da
Yeah.
da da. All of these things. And it's like, okay, like, what can I do about it? And I remember my grandma, she said this to me. She was like, oh, like when somebody talks bad about my looks, I tell them, do của chị trông cao bỏ có hai kê có bác khó của có của trông cao đi có. And I was like,
I
oh,
love that.
okay. I like how you said that because like, they're talking so much shit about you. Why don't they do something about it, But they don't even got money to do all that money, or they don't even got they don't even got all that money to do all of that beauty. And so they could sit back down.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, just relating this like back to the old days, right? When like a guy goes like talk to a girl, the parents always like, oh, the maid ho, cái bên ôi tao hơi yeah, she has yeah low, like oppa hơi tao and stuff. I just think it's so funny. Like, they all want someone small, want someone big. Like, I don't get it. Someone's too big, y'all like they're too big.
Yeah.
They're too small. They're too small. Like, there's no perfect. Like, there's nothing perfect in between. And yeah, I think the beauty standards with the Hmong culture and then with now too, load a lot of things have just been, like changing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, so tying this into like the modern day signs of like competition between like Hmong women, right? Social media comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like just social media in general for everyone is bad,
Yes.
But I think especially for Hmong women too, like I feel like sometimes I think just the Hmong culture in general, like you just don't support your brothers and sisters, but you're always
Yeah.
supporting strangers.
Yes.
Which is just like, why do you do that? It's like just support each other. It's not competition between each other to see who has more to and all that stuff, But it's just really like you're supporting your sisters and your brothers that are from the same culture, We're from
Yeah.
the same, we stem from the same place. But yeah, like with women and like comparison between like weddings or like what they wear and stuff, like we made like a little TikTok video or just like a reel about things that women say about other women, And if you want to watch that, go onto our page, you'll see it.
Yes.
There's just so much comparison on how you look and like, oh, I need to be like skinny like her and look good like her, or well, my wedding needs to be better than hers. And just courage in general. I feel like, and it doesn't come from because us women want to do it, but because of what's been stemmed to our culture that we just do it, without realizing.
Right.
You know?
Yep. It's that deep conditioning right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. And I also want to add on with what you were saying about, Hmong people not supporting Hmong people, but they'll support other people.
Yes.
Which is so wild to me. I swear, when like a Hmong person wants to make a change for the better, people start hating instantly.
Yeah.
Like they just, I don't know why. Like, why are y'all so pessimistic? You guys think the worst of the worst. Like, if you guys see, I don't know, like low key like a little clickbait post, right? And you just see the clickbait, but you don't even look at the post. So
Yeah.
you don't even know what the hell it's about, and you literally assume the worst for the worst. And like the clickbait, I'm not talking about like, it's really catfish or whatever, I'm just talking about like a title, like a marketing advertisement kind of thing where we want people to click on it and stuff, and so for marketing purposes. And then like instead of them going into it and reading about it or learning more about it, they are just instantly upset about it. And they're like, oh yeah, I like this does not make sense to me at all. And oh yeah, I want to talk about our post too. Yeah. And this relates to our post that we had posted about, I think, 2 weeks ago, about the
It's okay to not be on 10K.
Yeah. Yes. And oh my gosh, you guys, we got so much traction about that.
Yes. Like all we did was just post a picture, right? And then boom, people are just assuming the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Like all we did was post a picture. We didn't say anything about anyone. We didn't put anyone down. But then these, I don't know if they're fake pages or these fake male pages.
They
it could be
are.
women. I don't know. And they're out here like already like degrading Hmong women just because we said that.
And hella sexualizing us. What the hell?
Like, why are your legs open on the street? Like that says a lot.
Right.
It's a picture, sir. Like,
Yes.
excuse me,
Yep.
And just because like we've said, like it's okay to not be nya 10K doesn't mean that we don't know how to be a nya. Doesn't mean that we're not gonna learn how to do dishes or to cook or anything,
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
it's okay to just not be perfect. It's okay to not be perfect, because we all learn, When you're with your family, it's so different from when you freaking get married and married to a different family. Everything is different. That's why we're saying it's okay to not be a nya 10K.
Yeah.
It's okay if you want to pursue your career instead. It's okay if you want to stay single. But then these people automatic. There's when people lie. They don't want to do anything. They won't know how to love my kids. They won't know how to cook. It's like it's not even that.
Exactly.
What made you even think of that?
That's wild. And that's literally why we posted that photo too, is to redefine what anya means. And to a lot of people, they automatically think anya should
basically do everything.
Right. Be that caretaker, be the breadwinner,
Yes.
be everything for the family. And that just proves that you have to redefine your definition of being nya, because that is just impossible in today's society.
Yeah, like a person can't just drop their whole life and everything to just be the perfect nya, right? And like we've said, teach your kids basic life skills.
Right.
Don't teach your sons to depend on the wife in the future. They need to know how to cook for themselves too. They need to pack their own food for work. And then when it comes to their marriage, right, it's up to them if they want to, if the wife and the husband has a mutual understanding of I'm going to do this for you, you do this for me, then that's on them, right? That's their marriage. We're just saying teach your kids the basic standards of life.
Right.
Like don't teach one to depend on the other. We need to know how to have ourselves like great before we can even get into a relationship and be great together, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people just don't understand that. Not people, but, you know, yeah, people. They just don't understand that. Like, we're not saying anything to bash anyone.
Yeah.
But then they're in the comments bashing us.
Right.
It's just so ironic because that's exactly why we made the post. Yeah.
Basically, you got to help yourself before you can help anyone else.
Yes.
That's basically what we're saying.
We did want to bring this up because it just brought a lot of traction. There's a lot of negativity and, you know, it should never be that way. But it is. That's why we have to speak up about it, right?
Right. Yeah. But yeah, that's just an example how, like, you know, one little thing like that, you know, Hmong people are trying to make better, it could just be taken as such a negative connotation, a negative effect. And it's just really wild how, like, like Hmong people, they're trying to do for the better, but then the community sees it as a threat. And it's like, that's wild. This is exactly why we need to be better.
Yes.
Exactly why the post needs to be made.
Yes.
And so, moving on to the next one. The judgment of being too Americanized and not cultured enough.
Basically relates to that. Yeah.
Right.
But in terms of like being a Hmong woman,
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot.
There is.
Like the nya thing. Yeah, because like I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do anything. Then you're too Americanized. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like we all learn. Okay. Yeah.
And I could even speak from my own experience too that, you know, like I guess I consider myself pretty cultured because I grew up knowing how to like assist with killing chickens, plucking chickens, all of the shaman rituals and stuff too. And so I know how to do that. And then when I grew up and I met some girls that never knew how to do that, I even thought they were too Americanized. I was like, oh, y'all so Americanized. You guys don't know how to do this. And I caught myself judging and I was like, oh my gosh, not me judging because I did, like, they don't know how to do that. But now I actually respect them so much for that because I'm like, you know, you don't need to know how to do all of these things and that's perfectly fine. And, you know, I am actually envious of them too. I'm like, wow, I admire how like you guys grew up not knowing how to pluck chickens or assist to, you know, kill them and everything. I wish I grew up like that too, but you know, it's fine because everybody grows up differently. They have their own reasons, they have their own upbringing, and it is never to judge. Just because they don't know how to do something that you know how to do doesn't mean that they're less or more, period.
Yeah, basically that's it. Nothing more, nothing less, you know?
Right.
You don't have to judge someone for not knowing to do things that you know how to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like there's always so much judgment, especially when you go to like the Hmong or just any gatherings, you know, and you're like, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to like cut this correctly. They're like, oh, come on, oh, come on. No.
Yeah.
It's like, girl, at least I'm trying, at least I'm doing it right.
Yes.
Everybody does it differently. I was taught differently by my parents. You're taught differently by your parents. So it's like everything we do is different from each other.
Yes.
There doesn't have to be no judgment, you know?
Yeah. I also want to mention, I love my grandma. Okay, grandma, I love you. If you're watching this, sometimes she does watch our podcast. I love you, grandma. But like when we were taught how to do chores by my mom would just let us do it and we'll like figure out like the best efficient and effective way. But my grandma, she's very impatient. And so like when she comes to the kitchen, she will tell us to move and like, yeah. And so she'll just take over. And so we'll just be like, oh, okay, you can do it then if you want to do it so bad. And then my mom will get upset. She'll be like, oh, what? Why did you let your grandma do it? And we'll be like, we didn't let her do it. She just came and she just wanted to do it because she said we're not good at it. And so it makes us believe that we're not good at it. So we're like, okay, we're just not going to do it because we're not good at it. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, you know, my grandma she wanted to take the kitchen competition too far. And so she was like, okay, go ahead. Honestly, any day my grandma could take the kitchen, and she still can. Yeah. So on to our next one, impact on the community. This makes it very confusing for a woman to be friends, to be sisters, to be allies with each other, because it's like, ooh, what is she good at? What does she have that I don't have? I need to make sure that I deliver more, you know? And I've definitely experienced that in my times of going over to my family events, because I would see my cousins or my aunties, and they're doing work, chores and stuff. And I'll be like, oh, how could I top that, you know? But then, like, that's just unrealistic. You just can never top anything, because the only thing you could top is yourself.
Yeah.
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 Period.
Yeah. And then next would be reinforcing outdated gender roles. Yeah, because there's competition to always be better, and then it stems back to being the perfect daughter, and being the perfect housewife, right? So we're always trying to be the chapla at every event and all that. So I think that because of that competition, culturally, it really brings out the very outdated things of having to the woman show veins and you know, like all that stuff, you know. So yeah, culturally we're talking about like that, and then it brings out very, very outdated gender roles. But I think like now it just brings out the bad in people, you know, without realizing. Like we just always judge before we know a person. We judge before anything, you know. We judge what we see on social media. So yeah, it brings out really bad characteristics in you as an individual when you try to compare yourself to another Hmong woman.
Exactly. And so how can we prevent these things from happening is really coming together and celebrating each other's small wins, no matter how small or big it could be, because as long as we're always going to be here for each other, like having this podcast, having this community, having you as a listener, we're always going to be a step further for being better, you know, from the worst. And I think that we are definitely not the worst. You know, we have gotten so much better, and already having this platform, having both Emmy and I be so brave to come on here and talk about these things, share our experiences, that's already such a huge step.
Yes.
And I think that like probably 10 years ago, it would have been so weird for Hmong women to have a platform like this and share these things.
Definitely.
It would be so uncomfortable.
Yes. People will look down on it, you know? Yeah, and then sharing resources and opportunities with each other. I feel like with our time now, or like our age, I think we've been doing so good with that. You know,
we don't gatekeep.
Yes, we don't gatekeep. But I think we're doing so good with supporting each other, and I think just viewing the best in each other and not the worst. Yeah, so that's sisterhood. I love it. You know, like, go at your sister. Like, I love that. You know, I just love it.
Yeah, definitely. And just as I mentioned too, you know, creating a safe space, just like Modern Hmong Girl here, or having like programs that create spaces like this. We know like there are so many platforms or organizations out there that have these safe spaces. Like I know Hmong American Partnership, they offer these safe spaces. There's also other organizations too. I can't think of them right now, but yeah, we can definitely put some resources in the comments or in the description as well too. But it's just so amazing how far that we have come.
Yes, and if you didn't know, we do have our own MHG Sisters group and group chat now. And if you do want to join, you could send us a DM and we could send it to you, because it is a private group. And yeah, I think we're just super excited to be able to provide that safe space for everyone. And we hope that you're all able to also contribute to making it a safe space for us Hmong women to really come together and discuss any type of problems together, right? So yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. We do want to say that the Hmong women's power grows when we light each other up and lift each other up instead of, comparing and bringing each other down. So we hope you all enjoyed this episode, and we hope that you all continue to support each other and lift each other up in so many ways.
Yes, absolutely. So put in the comments something that you have compared yourself to. We would love to hear feedback or just anything that you have take away from this episode. If you are on Spotify, please rate our show, and if you are on YouTube, subscribe, comment. And you can find Modern Hmong Girl on all social media platforms at Modern Hmong Girl on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and
Facebook.
Yes. Yeah. And that wraps up today's episode. Thanks so much, girlies, for tuning in, and we shall see you soon, girlies. Mwah.